Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready video podcast. We have some hot breaking news to you today, and we want to introduce to you or present to you the illustrious Miss Candace Jones with some hot breaking news with free. Explain it, Miss Candace Jones.
Thank you, Reverend Fair, and thank you for all of those that are listening or watching today. As Reverend Fair mentioned, my name is Candace Jones, and I am going to be talking to you today. I just want to give you a little hint about what's going on. When we talk about free with SNAP partners, you can start a business for free and you can stay in it for free. It doesn't cost you anything to register with SNAP partners, but yet you have a lot of the divisions and verticals where you can make extra money and commissions for you to help yourself out, to help a business out, to help your community out. And I'll get into a little bit more about that free as we get farther down into the podcast agenda. But I'm going to turn it back over to you, Reverend Fair, because you do such an excellent job in introducing our host for the day.
Well, thank you, Ms. Jones. Today, once again, I want to say welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready video podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop, all the way from East Cleveland, Ohio, by the way of Bracknell, Ohio. I present to you the CEO of People Get Ready Political Podcast, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. himself. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you. You're all the way back, Reverend Fair. You had a little setback there for a minute. I can tell you're back, and I'm so happy to see you back and doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Because we have a record-breaking day today.
Yes.
And we're going way up yonder in the blue skies. And we got stars all over the place.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great day. I'm so glad to have entrepreneur, recording star, both gospel, soul, even a little rap.
All right.
And getting ready to embark upon a new enterprise. Ms. Joanne Hollywood, to share with the listening and viewing audience what's coming up.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much for having me, for everyone that's here, all the guests.
Yes.
I'm very, very, very blessed. And what my objective is, I want to help the community that are our community for a change. People that need help, don't know where to go, know what to do. I could write a book about that. So I'm going to focus in on health, wealth, credit, debt, and entertainment. And I want us to come together as a team, as a group, so that we can build our neighborhoods, build our families, do the things that we need to do, and stop having to beg for everything that we get. There's a lot of money in this country, in this world. There is a lot of money. So when people say there's no money, when the government says there's no money, that's not true. That is a lie. They make their own money. So if you make your own money, you can never be out of money. That makes no sense at all. So what I want to do is get people to understand how this system is run so that we can overcome some of the things that we are stuck with because we don't trust our family and our friends. But there's a lot of people that you shouldn't trust, and they're not here in this state, okay? So I want to start going into, which I've already started, going into the churches where I can present information that will help people to get their credit repaired, learn how to invest your money, because if you don't do it for yourself, it's not going to be done. They're not going to teach you in these schools what you and your children need to know. They haven't done it all this time, so don't think they're going to do it because they're not. We have to be better than we are today. And that's why I'm here. And I want to see anybody that has a dream, that they're trying to go somewhere big, they want to make it big. Don't give up on your dream because they're out there. They're waiting for you because they was waiting for me, and I'm still moving and shaking and looking and waiting.
All right.
Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. That was some great information that you shared with us. Now, moving on to our next item on our agenda.
All right. Well, next we're gonna have some hot national, international news about the former president of the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
Reverend Ben Fair, would you come and share with us as Miss Joanne move out and our next guest move in?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bibb. I have some hot breaking news out of Georgia. And I want to say that the former president, Mr. Donald Trump, is in a little hot water. The grand jury indicts Trump on Donald Trump and 18 co-defendants on charges of racketeering in Georgia 2020 election probe. A grand jury has indicted Trump and 18 co-defendants for knowingly participating in a conspiracy to unlawfully manipulate the election outcome in Trump's favor, Mr. Bibbs. Donald Trump, along with several prominent allies, including Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, and Jeffrey Clark, has been indicted on not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 41 counts in Georgia. The charges stem from their efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. The charges indicate that these individuals were unwilling to accept Trump's loss and actively sought to alter the results of the election. This indictment, Mr. Bibbs, which also involves lawyers John Eastman, Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesebro, Gina Ellis, and Ray Smith, accuses them of violating Georgia's Racketeering, Influenced, and Corruption Organization Act. Trump was personally charged with 13 counts, Mr. Bibbs, including violating the State Racketeering Act, soliciting a public officer to violate their oath, conspiring to impersonate a public office, conspiring to commit forgery in the first degree, and conspiring to file false documents. The racketeering charges carry a sentence of 5 to 20 years. I think he may be in a little hot water, Mr. Bibbs.
All right, all right.
The Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis announced arrest warrants have been given until August the 25th to voluntarily surrender themselves. Willis expressed her intentions to try all 19 defendants together. The indictment points to various indictments, including a notably January the 2nd, 2021 phone call in which Trump urges Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find enough votes for him to surpass Joe Biden's lead and win the state. Additionally, the indictment focuses on the involvement of fake electors. How did they do that? Who falsely acclaimed Trump's victory in Georgia. Several of these individuals have already entered immunity agreements. So they've been squirreling, Mr. Bibbs. They've been singing a song. So
all right.
I think Mr. Trump may be in a little bit of hot water.
Okay, Reverend, can you tell me this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when Trump is going to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office to be booked?
Yes, Mr. Bibbs. From the report, he's supposed to turn himself in this Thursday.
All right, all
Yes,
right.
sir. He's
So
gonna
he-
he's gonna be booked and charged.
Okay,
$200,000 cash money.
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good job.
Yes, sir.
Letting us know just what's happening with our former president of the United States.
Yes, sir.
And I'm told this time they're gonna take a nice mug shot of it. And for your update,
Mhm.
in addition to your report,
Yes.
today, America's mayor got booked. His mug shot is all over the social media.
Oh, yeah.
Juliana, former
Oh.
mayor of New York City,
Mm.
the bait and switch man and switch and all that kind of stuff up there, putting everybody in jail. Now you get a little taste of that jail itself. All right. Thank you, Reverend Fair. Excellent job.
Yes, sir.
Now switching lanes, and Ms. Candace Jones gonna bring someone to the front that I made a special request that Miss Joanne Holly be here live and in living color tonight.
All right.
That's why I was a little confusion with her coming to the door or coming on streaming,
Yes.
because I want her to meet this young man, because they're gonna be working together on Saturday after the November election.
All right.
Because I'm gonna convene the juvenile detention center piece. And we'll be talking about that later. I don't want to use up too much time tonight. But Mark, that Saturday after November election, Miss Joanne, we're gonna blow the roof off of it over there at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library and University Center on Stokes Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms.
Mhm.
Candace Jones,
Yes, I
the
have
airwaves are all yours.
I have the honor of introducing our next guest. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to share a little bit of information about him. We have a guest today, Matthew Ahn. He's a Democratic candidate for the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor in 2024. Matthew is the native of North Royalton. Matthew attended the Case Western Reserve University before teaching low-income and first-generation community college students at Tri-C. After graduating from NYU School of Law, he spent several years serving as a public defender in state and federal court, as a clerk for multiple federal judges, and as a special education attorney representing parents. For the last 2 years, he has taught at Cleveland State University College of Law as a visiting assistant professor, where he was voted Faculty Member of the Year in 2023 by the student body. Matthew served as director of affiliate group outreach for the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party in 2022 to 2023. He is currently serves on the board of Bike Cleveland and is part of the Guardians of Fair Work Coalition Against Wage Theft. Matthew is a former Jeopardy contestant and a two-time Guinness World Book Record holder. So without further ado, Matthew, if you could just tell us a little bit more about yourself, and please include that information about the Guinness Book Record holder.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, everybody, for having me.
Yes.
Ms. Jones, Reverend Fair, Mr. Bibb, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. As Ms. Jones said, my name is Matthew Ahn. I am a professor at Cleveland State University. I am running for county prosecutor because I believe that Cuyahoga County can build and provide justice for all. Now, that does bring up an interesting question, which is, what is justice? And I think my experiences in my life to this point help me to answer that question in a lot of different ways. I grew up in North Royalton, in a union community, in a union household. You know, my neighbors worked for companies such as LTV Steel, and the strength of that community that I grew up in was justice. After going to Case, I went to Tri-C, where I helped low-income and first-generation community college students complete their math and science requirements for their associate's degree. And their educational security was justice. In my work as a special education attorney, I did represent parents whose children were often being denied educational accommodations by their public school districts. those kids' opportunity for success was justice. I spent most of my practice career, though, as a public defender, and I worked primarily in sentencing, appeals, and post-conviction work. So most of my clients were already incarcerated. In that role, I was able to fight for necessary services for incarcerated clients who desperately needed them. And for folks who had paid their debt and were ready to come home, I was able to fight for their release. Their rehabilitation and their success upon reentry was also justice. All of this has led me to believe that we can create justice for all when we think big about what our communities need. Now, over the last couple of years, during my time as a law professor at Cleveland State, I've had an opportunity to really drill down into what the prosecutor's office here in Cuyahoga County has been doing. And what I'm seeing is that we have a lot of prosecutors in the office who are doing really important and sometimes really difficult work, but they're being directed to carry out policies that fall short of justice for all. I'll just give you a couple of quick examples. First, over the last 5 years, Cuyahoga County's prosecutor's office has tried nearly as many children as adults as the rest of Ohio combined. And of the children that are being tried as adults in Cuyahoga County, 92% of them are Black.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes.
Did you hear that, Miss Joanne? All right, repeat that again because I want to make sure I heard it.
Absolutely. Over the last 5 years, the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office has tried nearly as many children as adults as the rest of Ohio combined. And 92% of those children are Black. Over that same 5-year period, Cuyahoga County has issued more death sentences than any other county in the entire United States. Not just Ohio, but the entire country.
My goodness.
In recent years as well, we've seen the jail population balloon to a point past what I believe is necessary, because we're still using a cash bail system that is outdated and is holding people in a falling apart county jail longer than is necessary. Finally, we've seen a number of cases over the last few years where folks have found new evidence of their innocence and have had their convictions overturned. In many of these cases over the last few years, the prosecutor's office has chosen to take these folks back to trial, even with the evidence of their innocence. And I don't understand why. I cannot come up with any good reason for that. And so what I intend to do as prosecutor, if I am elected, is to make sure that we target crimes that harm our community, to build an office in the people's interest, to work to break the cycle of trauma, and to support rehabilitation through services. This is what I've been hearing as I've been talking to folks in all of the communities across Cuyahoga County. It's what our communities want, and it's what they deserve. And that's why I'm running to be Cuyahoga County prosecutor.
Thank you.
Wow.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Now, we'll take a question or two. And anyone have a question that they want to start off with?
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Hahn.
Go ahead, Reverend Ben Fair.
Do you think it's possible to stem some of the injustices that's happening at start with the children that's being tried as adult? And you said this 92% of those children come from the Black community. Is it possible in your research to stem back some of that, some of those, convictions?
Absolutely. Cuyahoga County created the second juvenile court in the entire country over 100 years ago because we recognized that children should be treated differently than adults. what we've seen over the past few years is us sort of losing that realization and using some of these mechanisms to try children as adults, which were originally supposed to be used in very, very limited circumstances. We're now using them sort of as a matter of normal business. And that's not the way that they were meant to be used. If we, an elected prosecutor can on day one institute a policy and say, we are not going to request to move folks over to adult court unless the law makes us. There are some very technical requirements. Sometimes a case has to be moved over into adult court, but those are relatively rare cases, and we can deal with those without sort of perpetuating the cycle of trauma, especially in Black communities, that we've seen over the past 30 years.
Thank you.
Very good. Next question. Ms. Candace.
I do have a question
Mr.
regarding.
Tony Walker, you're next.
I do have a question regarding diversion programs. So what is your opinion or feeling on diversion programs before juveniles get to the point of going to the detention center?
I think that diversion is the key. It's actually really, really important that we not incarcerate folks who are going through mental health or addiction issues, because incarceration is usually just going to make those issues worse. This is certainly something that we need to do both at the juvenile level and at the adult level. We want to make sure that we are giving folks a chance for rehabilitation as early as possible, right? And that's the idea behind diversion as a system as a whole, right? There is some indication out there. I don't have the numbers necessarily for the juvenile system, but certainly for the adult system, there are estimates that 1 out of every 3 people who are currently in the Cuyahoga County Jail should probably have been sent to a diversion program rather than placed in the jail. And yet, our new diversion center only has 50 beds. We can do better than that. We can expand those programs, and we can make sure that they're used to the extent that they need to be used, because that's going to be what makes us safer in the long term.
Thank you very kindly. Mr. Walker?
Yes, you indicated that.
Ms. Joanne, you next. Come in this room, please.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb.
Go ahead, Mr. Walker.
On day one, if elected, you would be able to implement policy that would move juvenile into the system when possible. I realize the prosecutor.
Touch Reverend. Go get Joanne, tell her to come in this room.
That's a great question. And I think this is one of the things that is often very unclear about the justice system, right? What role does the prosecutor play? How much power do they have over certain other parts of the judicial system, especially given sort of how the judges have been in the news recently? And this is important because prosecutors do have a relatively narrow scope of work, right? They're working on one side of the courtroom, and the county prosecutor's office in particular is focused on felony crimes. So those are crimes in Ohio that carry a maximum sentence of 1 year or more. Now, within that narrow jurisdiction, the prosecutor's office has a lot of power and a lot of discretion, and that's actually the legal term for it, prosecutorial discretion, because the prosecutor gets to choose, well, do we charge this case as crime A or crime B, or maybe not a felony at all? Do we seek a harsher sentence or a lighter sentence? And so these are things that a judge will ultimately decide, but oftentimes the judge is not going to be able to decide these issues until the prosecutor asks for something. And so the prosecutor's office does have a lot of power to influence how policy is carried out within the court system.
Thank you. Ms. Joanne Holly,
Yes, sir.
question?
Does anybody have any questions?
You have a question?
Oh, well, I got a million for him.
No,
so-
just one, just one.
Oh, I don't know if I can take one. Oh,
Just one.
well, what you're talking about is exactly what we need. It don't take a rocket
Question, well, you gotta
scientist.
ask him a question.
Oh, I gotta ask him a question. Well, the only question I ask is when you get started.
All right, very good, very good.
Well, the election is March 19th of next year. And if I win, I would take office in January of 2025. So we're still pretty early, but I'm trying to put in the work now so that we can put in the work later.
Yeah,
Thank you. 'cause
You-
we did that like yesterday.
let me help you. You're not early. You're not pretty early because there's a good debate tonight. And the winner of the debate gonna be on the same ballot you're gonna be on.
It's true.
So you're not early. Okay, Ms. Talawanda?
So my question is about the youth that's already incarcerated, that's already gone through this. So my understanding is that they take away the supports that would be otherwise given to them if they were charged as juveniles. What plan do you have for the ones that's already been incarcerated and have been denied those social services to help them to rehabilitate?
Well, the best time to provide services, especially for kids who are going through these mental health or addiction issues, was 2 years ago, almost always. But the second best time is now. And so we know that these kids are going to come home to our communities. The current way the prosecutor's office is set up, they're not interested in providing any reentry services. And I think that's something that can also change fairly quickly. We need to make sure that the prosecutor's office can be proactive about what supports it offers, not just during the sort of short time a criminal case exists, but let's try to get folks before that happens, and let's try to support folks who are coming back as well. And with my post-conviction background, I think I have some ideas about how to do that well.
All right, I want to thank you for answering all of the questions. And I want to thank the panel for asking the questions. And I want to thank you guys, all of you, for volunteering to serve on the panel on the Saturday after the November election at the Martin Luther King Jr. Library. Ms. Candace, take everybody's name who asked a question, because that's the panel, including the candidate. Because that's going to be a hot one and a big one. You're going to be coming far and near to hear this panel. We're taking over, Reverend Ben Fair, from where we left off at the library before on the juvenile detention piece that was in the October 6, 2021 plain dealer. And we're gonna get to the bottom of this and we're gonna get it straightened out. And it probably will be maybe 1 or 2 more people on there who took leads in that when we were up at the juvenile detention center before. And thank you very kindly, and we'll see you on the trail.
Thank you.
And
I
see
do
you on the.
have
Good.
one final question for Mr. An. What is your Guinness Book of World Records?
I was
for-
going
yeah.
to circle back to that question. Thank you, Ms. Jones. So on 2 separate occasions, I broke the record for the fastest time to visit every New York City subway station.
Oh,
All right.
Both times it took me about 21 and a half hours.
okay.
Wow.
Wow,
Good.
good.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was the New York subway.
Mhm.
That ain't no joke. Been
Right.
there, been there, done
I've been
that.
there, yeah.
Sometime I paid, sometime I went on.
Well, thank you,
Young man,
Mr.
I
An,
used to
for
spend my
joining
summers
us
there.
today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right,
everybody.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Mr. Walker, Tony Walker, Mr. Walker still in the room?
Yes.
help the guests there, would you please? Change their information. All right. Well, the great debaters tonight, is that right? Great Republican debate?
You are absolutely right.
And so, Reverend Fair, let's see what the poll look like.
All right.
Do you have any information on the poll?
Yes, I do, Mr. Bibb.
All right, would you share that with us, please?
Yes, we have the Republicans' primary presidential poll. And we'll begin with the leader, which is our former president, Donald Trump, who is at 52.2%. He's at 52.2%. And we have Mr. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, at 14.5%. And we have Mr. Ramsey Wooey at 8.9%. We have former Vice President Pence at 4.2%. We have the Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina at
Number 163. What number are they? Who number? Start over again for me. I'm sorry, I missed that
Yes.
myself.
okay,
Number 1 is who?
our former president, Donald Trump,
And his number is
52.2%.
okay. Then number 2.
Number 2 is the governor from Florida, Mr. Ron DeSantis, at 14.5%. And then you have this gentleman here, Mr. Ramaswamy, at 8.9%. And former Vice President Mike Pence at 4.2%.
What's the number? What number?
He's at number 4.
Number 4. Okay, go right ahead.
And then you have Tim Scott at 5. He's at 3.5%. And Haley, she's at 3.4%, is 6. And 7 is Chris Christie. He's at 3.3%. And the rest is Mr. Hutchinson, who is 0.7%, and Bergrum at 0.4%, and Hurd at 0.3%, and Squarce at 0.2%. Now, do you want me to read off the qualifications for the debate tonight?
Yeah, what the last one you read, what number was he?
Let's see.
He got a number by his name. What number was he?
He's at 11.
He was 11, yeah, okay. Because some other 14 hours total, they down below 0.0.
Mhm.
Okay, very good.
Mhm.
Now, in order to be on the stage tonight, would you share with the audience how did you get on the stage?
Okay, right, Mr. Bibbs. Well, to qualify for the first debate in Milwaukee, the Republican National Committee requires that a candidate reach at least, Mr. Bibb, 1% in multiple eligible polls, and to gather at least 40,000 donors and sign a pledge committing to supporting the ultimate GOP nominee.
All right, all right. Now,
So,
cable TV, the billionaire, his name is with a B,
mhm.
governor of Western State. He used something unique to get his 40,000. He was having a little trouble. So Mr. Walker, he gave anybody who sent him $1, he sent them $20 back.
Yes, sir.
He didn't have no problem finishing up getting that 40,000.
As you mentioned, he is.
And then the poor fella was playing basketball to get loosened up for the debate tonight and got injured. So we'll be all watching to see if he makes the stage,
Oh, Lord.
because they had to take him to the hospital. Yeah,
What?
he has to. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Thank you very kindly.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move right along. And Ms. Candace Jones has a way that I just love when she gives this report, because she has a way that you can go in business without investing any money. And we want to share that information with many people as we can. Would you bring that to the front, Ms. Candace Jones? Snap Delivery.
Yeah.
Snap Partners. Snap Partners.
Snap Partners. So I want to share, I've spoken for several weeks about Snap Partners, but I want to share some new information that has launched over the past couple of months. So as I mentioned, Snap Partners started off in 2021 as a food delivery service because they wanted to try to help business out that was suffering from going from the pandemic and help them out in that way with food delivery, because in 2021, restaurants were still suffering as far as staying in business, not being able to have enough employees to work inside. So they still relied on the food delivery for their business. So Snap Partner started off by offering a delivery service at $2 per delivery instead of the 20, 30, or 40%. And when I talk about free, you can register for Snap Partners for free and you can stay in it for free. It doesn't cost anything to come into Snap Partners, but you have access to all the different divisions. Snap Partners is delivery. One of the other divisions is financial with the ERC program, Employee Retention Tax Credit. You could help a business register and hopefully get a tax credit based off the employees they had in 2020 and 2021. That's part of the CARES Act. The ERC program is part of the CARES Act that came out in 2020. At that time, most businesses applied for the PPP loans because it was an easier process to do. You go through the banks, and most banks were just trying to pull people in to apply for them. The ERC is a little more cumbersome to apply for. It goes to the IRS, and it's a credit against the payroll tax you paid in 2020 and 2021. Most businesses don't know that even if you applied for PPP loans, you could still apply for ERC loans. You can potentially get up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. So that's just one of the verticals. And coming into Snap Partners for free, you can make a commission off of that. So you started for free, but yet you're able to make money for free, help a business out, help your community out. Another vertical is Snap Energy. This year, Snap launched Snap Energy. June 1st, the electric bills, gas and electric for the state of Ohio and other states that were deregulated went up, doubled, and even more than that. So it would be great to be able to help a business out to reduce their energy, their gas and electric bills. So Snap Partners helps that out. You register for Snap for free, you can help a business save their gas and electric, and you can make a commission off of that as well. Another one is Snap Health Insurance to help those that don't have insurance or maybe want to find a better rate on their health insurance. That's where Snap Health Insurance helps out. One that was just launched, or we're going to have the official launching in September, is Snap Wellness. So we're going to be elevating the Snap Partners with Integris Wellness. And so I want to just read a little bit about it. So as the CEO of the company wants to be able to help business out, bring forward things that are value, not only to you individuals, to your community, to the business and everybody else. So Snap Wellness is just another entity that they've added. So welcome to Elevate 2023, the ultimate event that will revitalize your approach to wellness and elevate your business and success. And again, you've joined Snap Partners for free, but yet you can make a commission off of this as well and helping people get healthy. So this event will take place starting Thursday, September 7th, going through Sunday, September 10th. Join us for a multi-day event starting, as I mentioned, the 7th through the 10th. It will take place at the Hilton Dallas Fort Worth Lakes Executive Conference Center. But you don't have to worry. If you can't travel to Texas for this event, we're going to be streaming it live here in Cleveland so you can learn how you can make yourself healthy. So if you can't make it in person, no worries. We're going to be streaming it live in Cleveland at Chandler Park, 17325 Euclid Avenue in the second floor conference room, 2011. Again, we're going to be following the same schedule. So it's going to be just like you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, because we're going to be seeing everything that they're going to be seeing. We have a big screen that we can show it up on. So for those that are interested in joining us at Chandler Park for these events, please give me a call so we can find out how many people are going to be joining. You can give me a call by calling 216-570-4738 and let me know that you would like to join us for this. There'll be some door prizes for those that are able to attend. And let me just give you a little sample of what some of the products that the SNAP Wellness and Integris has. It's a full circle wellness quality for you. They have digestive enzyme products that help with gut health. They have therapeutic gourmet coffee, which latte coffee or gourmet black coffee. They have therapeutic gourmet tea, and they have products that can help out to energize your system the naturally and good way. So we want to learn about all these products that are available to help our health, help our gut health, because you hear on TV every day about your gut health and how that's where a lot of diseases start and originate from, or in your gut. So let's get that healthy gut started off. So again, it's going to be starting Thursday, the September 7th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's going to be just a welcome reception. Excuse me. Friday, September the 8th will be the conference, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, September 9th, conference, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then Sunday is the final day, conference from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, I have been to some of the SNAP partner conventions before. I've been to them live. I've been to one streaming, and they are energetic and exciting. So you don't want to miss out on any of this, so we can learn how to get ourselves healthy and start with SNAP for free.
Okay, Ms. Candace,
Yes,
this Saturday, the
Saturday,
hours of what time?
Thursday, September 7th is 5
No,
p.m.
Saturday.
Saturday is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And Friday is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Saturday, we want to have samples. Bibb Enterprises have samples of those products for the audience to come out.
Yes, I
Hold
am.
on, so
I
they
am
can-
working on getting the coffee and the tea
Right,
available
right.
for that event.
We have that available at no charge. Okay, very good, very good. And that's gonna be quite an event because the Big D, Dallas, Texas, is the home of national conventions. More network marketing companies have conventions in Dallas than anywhere, even Atlanta and California. Very good.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Reverend. You want to say?
I've been there.
Oh, you okay then? You know about it then. Right, right. Very good. Okay. Thank you very kindly. And Mr. Tony Walker gonna bring us some information on the hottest thing in the United States tonight, the great debate. It says owl, but the great debate is in Wisconsin. And we talked earlier today. I said, just tell us about it. Everything you know about the debate that'll be going on in a few hours.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Bibb. Well, as you indicated, and as was indicated by Reverend Fair, the debate, first presidential primary debate will be held this evening starting at 9 p.m. in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Republicans will be gathered there. It's interesting because the Republicans also chose Wisconsin for their nominating convention as well. And the reason that they're paying such close attention to Wisconsin is because Wisconsin has been the bellwether swing state for the last 6 presidential elections. four of the last six presidential candidates, or actually elected presidents, won Wisconsin. The only time the president won the election without winning Wisconsin was, I have to go back to Bush in 2000. And we all know what happened in 2000. It wasn't so much that he lost Wisconsin.
Now we really know what happened.
We had a Supreme Court that wanted to get involved in the outcome.
Right.
And then, of course,
hanging chads.
Exactly.
Hanging chads. Everybody
Exactly.
remember that.
So for that, and then of course in 2004 he was an incumbent president and as well as a wartime president, and we all know the significance of those two attributes behind your name. So it's safe to say that Wisconsin would have chosen the past six presidents without those other factors being involved. So that's, I think, an important reason that Republicans are paying attention to Wisconsin, and I hope that the Democrats learn as well that how critically important Wisconsin will be in the next presidential election. The again, the debate starts at 9 o'clock, and it's going to be hosted by or moderated rather by two Fox News contributors, Brett Baer and Martha McCallum. Fox is the only place that you can see this debate is being hosted by them. We all know how Fox News is. Fortunately for us, Brett Baer and Martha McCallum are probably the last two remaining what I would consider real journalists since Chris Wallace left Fox. So at least we have an opportunity. I hope they don't throw just softball questions and we don't get at the real issues that people are wanting to hear the candidates talk about. It's also, well, let me just talk about who's going to be there, and I think we all know who won't be there. But the folk who are going to be there are Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence, a new kid on the block, Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a former biotechnology investor and executive. We have the former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, South Carolina U.S. Senator Tim Scott. We have the former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and the North Dakota Governor will be in question, Doug Burgum, who tore his Achilles tendon playing basketball in a pickup basketball game yesterday. So the one name that we did not mention is former President Donald J. Trump. And it's curious that he's not going to be there. The reason that he has indicated that he's not going to be there is because he doesn't want to sign this pledge of unity for the candidate that comes out of this primary process, which doesn't necessarily make sense because he's leading the primary by 40 points at this point. So barring a catastrophe, he is going to be the primary winner of the primary. The nominee, rather, I should say. But what he has chosen to do is to interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. And he's actually going to air that interview at the same time that the debate is going on. And so to me, it seems more a dig at Fox News. And I don't think anyone has a larger axe to grind against Fox News beside Donald Trump other than Tucker Carlson.
Yeah,
so
Tucker Carlson, he won't make it but $20 million a year.
Right. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what is talked about. I'm sure they're going to throw some red meat at the base. You'll probably hear about woke. You'll probably hear about critical race theory. You might hear about gender identity and those sorts of hot button topics that the Republican base seems to devour right now. What people are really most interested about is the economy. Probably won't hear anything about the abortion question. You probably won't hear anything about further supporting Ukraine, which the Republican base, the Republican Party, I should say, is really torn about. So it's a 50-50 proposition. So you probably won't hear much about those things, but you'll certainly hear about wokeism and critical race theory, I would imagine.
All right, very good job. Thanks a lot. And we'll all be watching tonight, be calling back and forth, see who scores the point. You
Absolutely.
have any prediction tonight of who you think will win?
Well, it's interesting. This Ramaswamy has really come out of nowhere and proven himself to be a formidable opponent. I think Reverend Fair talked about the polls, and I actually saw a poll today where he's actually leading Ron DeSantis.
Okay.
And so, in most of the other polls, they're pretty much it's a toss-up between the two. They're
Right.
within the margin of error. So,
And I forgot to tell Reverend Fair, bring the poll next week. You remember you've been doing a poll every week for the last 5 weeks because they can't get out of it. All right, we're running out of time. Ms. Candace Jones, would you please introduce our next guest, please?
Yes, our next guest has a very exciting background. Tara LaWanda Aaron created the Spot Youth Empowerment Organization in 2007. She noticed a need for the youth to have knowledge of resources available to them. She felt that if she could provide information on local, state, and federal programs, advocacy jobs, and education opportunities, it would have a great impact on them. She did not just want to provide the information, she wanted to bring it to the neighborhoods. Ms. Aaron attended Cuyahoga Community College, taking courses in human services. She began her career in childcare, helping children develop social, emotional, and communication skills. In 2007, she became the Safe Haven Coordinator for Burton Bell Carr Development Center, Inc. in the Cedar Center area. She created, organized, and scheduled community building initiatives for the residents, including youth programming. In 2013, she began a Scout leader with Boy Scouts of America program coordinator, after school All-Stars in 2017, where she would earn 2018 Program Leader of the Year. Wow, Miss Aaron, that is a lot of accomplishments that you have made. So share some information about the Spot, what programs that you offer, and what you have going on, that's events and things that are coming up.
Sure. So, Bibb, Ms. Jones, and Reverend for having me. I am excited to have the opportunity to talk about the Spot. We have been around, like you stated, since 2007, empowering youth through education and resources. And we do this through opportunities, jobs, and education. And so currently we're working on our civic engagement program we started last year with the support of the St. Luke's Foundation. We were able to do 3 classes, which we were able to do 2-day workshops, teaching them about branches of government, how to put initiatives together and change laws on the ballot, how to research candidates and issues, and how to cast a ballot and register. We broke the class in 2, and so now we offer advanced class. Now we've done 2 this year, and we'll end the year with 2 more, with one coming up this coming Saturday, August the 26th. We'll be at the East Cleveland Library branch from 10 to 2 to have your young person in this class. You just need to visit our website, which is thespot.yeo.com. That's thespot.yeo.com. Anyone 14 to 25 can register from this class. They can be from any area. We're just wanting to get the information out.
Very good. My question, I'm 100% political. Tell me 17 and a half and older, how many do you have roughly involved?
So it depends, because each class is a different neighborhood and a different set of kids. So, or I shouldn't say kids, they would not appreciate that. So we're gonna say young people. So, and it varies. We have as old as 25. Actually, some of the parents that has accompanied their kids got so much
My
out of it.
kids.
Young people. Thank you, Mr. Bibb. Some of the parents have gotten so much out of it that, they said that they actually needed the class more than the kids. So, and that's because we have a distrust and a disconnect with the whole democratic process. And so what we're attempting to do with the youth is revigorate our voting power here in the city of Cleveland and up our numbers. And so over the next 2 years, you heard them speak about the big election coming in 2025. There's going to be a lot of things on the ballot. That gives us 2 years. And we're hoping to increase our voting power in our youth by at least 5% in the next 2 years.
Good.
And so anybody 17, because the Board of Elections is in our classroom and they are teaching part of our curriculum, anyone that's 17 and a half and older is automatically registered to vote inside of our class. Not only that, they also receive a $50 cash stipend at the end of the class because this is an earn to learn. So they're not just there listening to a presentation, they actually have curriculum that they have to do inside of the class to earn that $50.
Good.
Not only that, we're also feeding them breakfast and lunch. We know some of our kids need this support, so we're offering that as well. Not only that, during our lunch break, we also infuse other resources. So it's a working lunch. We have jobs come out and speak to them. We've had literary programs come out and speak to the kids. So we also try to give them resources.
Young adults.
Young adults.
Okay.
Well, not all of them are adults, but they're inspiring.
I'm addressing this part to 17 and a half.
Yes.
Meaning they're going to be, by election time, they'll be eligible to vote.
Yes, sir.
The big year is not 25, the big year is 24.
Yes.
That's when we elect president.
Yes.
We don't have anything bigger than president.
Okay. Well,
No,
our folks.
no.
Oh, go right ahead. Mr. Bibb.
The big year is presidential election.
Yes, sir.
That's the biggest seat we got in the United States. But the former chairman of the party sent me a book by way of Ms. Candace Jones, who, tell her what was your event this past Sunday?
The Euclid Democratic Annual Brunch. We have a brunch every year, and David Pepper was one of the keynote speakers.
And for David Pepper is the former chairman of the Ohio Democratic Party. And I want to try to get them ready. So I'm going to take this committee that we volunteered to serve on tonight and work with them. And we're going to pull them out because they'll be voting next year. See how many we can grow that list to, because the turnout is real low in the African American community. They were voting twice as high on the west side than the east side because nobody's working with them. But we're going to work with them, and we want to work with you. So we'll be meeting with you to help you. And I'm glad to see you working at the East Cleveland Public Library, a number 4-star library in the United States.
Yes. Excellent facilities.
Give you a little history. There are 611 school districts in Ohio. 611 school districts in Ohio. I got it. You with me?
Yes, sir.
But there are only 3 African-American directors of libraries. Euclid, East Cleveland, and Cleveland. Got it?
Right.
Over 100 years ago, if they caught you reading, what would they do to you, Tony Walker?
It wasn't anything pleasant.
No, they killed you. That's the Sanders talk there, present. No, they just killed you. Yeah. Is she on the phone? She ain't on the phone, is she? 1 minute, okay. All right. So we'll be getting in touch with you on that project. That's gonna be a big, big project.
Well,
Because
we
we,
look forward to
we
it,
want to
Mr.
make a
Gibbs.
difference.
Yes, sir. we
And
do
you're
wanna
working
make
with a
difference.
very fine library director, Carlos. He's with us all the way, and we with him all the way.
All
I
right.
sat on that board of directors 2 different times.